going on, my heroes and villains? This episode 2 of My Hero Academia. Okay, the first one gave me chills. This one gave me even more. And if every episode can keep this up, then this series is going to be legendary. There's going to be an uproar of like, why isn't there more of this? Kind of like One Punch Man. The manga's going to do even better. You know, I don't know if the manga is on a schedule, if it's monthly or weekly, but I have a feeling this anime is going to gain this series enough popularity where the manga creator is going to be like, okay, I have to get serious. So many people like this. You know, this could really be a very big thing. So I think this is going to be a One Punch Man in terms of the anime just boosting the manga sales, because the manga was already talked about by a lot of people. Like, I have countless requests to read the manga before this anime even started. So I think this is nothing but a good thing for the series. But this episode, I'm so happy. On the rooftop, All Might did not just say you can become a hero. He did at the end of the episode, but I'm glad he didn't say it right then, because I like to see characters being told from everyone, even like the big dicks like All Might, that you can't do it, man. Just go be a police officer. You're not built for this. And then he kind of accepted that. He called it reality, him finally looking into reality, but there's something in him that moved on his own. Like when his friend Katsugi, I forget his real name, I'm gonna call him Kachan, just like Izuku does. But anyway, he moved on his own. Like, he has the traits of a hero. He even smiled when he knew he couldn't do anything. And that is the makings of a hero right there. And even All Might was moved. He really risked his life. And let me talk about All Might. When he deflated, as Izuku said, I was like, what? Is that his quirk to just become this big buff guy? But I have a very interesting theory about this power of his. I'm going to get into that in a second. But the explanation that he gave kind of confused me. How he said, you know, the guys at the pool that just kind of try to buff up. That's what that muscular form is. I'm not exactly sure what to make of that, but I think it's deeper than that. You know, I could be thinking more into it, but it seems like a Saitama explanation. Like, why Saitama is so strong, it's silly, but it's mostly believing in yourself. Believing in your own power. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this, but I don't know. But I truly, truly believe that he has a quirk, but he like created his own quirk, if that makes any sense. Like, he may have been born quirkless, just like Izuku, and he just trained his ass off, and you know, his willpower kind of forced his body to make that transformation, kind of like Saitama. You know, I hate to compare the two series and All Might and Saitama all the time, but that's just the vibe I'm getting, like in terms of how they gained their power. And he mentioned something about an accident with a villain a few years ago. That's his stomach is missing and a lot of organs and whatnot. But was he all muscular? Like, was he All Might, like the badass All Might before the accident? Like, I mean, was he permanently that way, or has he always been this skinny guy that could turn into the muscular All Might? That will determine on what kind of theory I have. But right now, I think that he kind of developed his own quirk. And I do think it's possible, because at the end of this episode, Izuku said something like, oh, by the way, this story is about how I became the greatest hero. And I mean, I just love how he said it nonchalantly, like, yeah, you know, it's no big deal, but I become kind of a badass later on. So with him saying the greatest hero, which tells me even greater than All Might, for him to come from nothing, a quirkless child, to someone greater than All Might, I think it is possible to develop your own quirk you know, from your own motivation and training and whatnot. Because in the next episode, All Might says something about he's trying to get Izuku to inherit his quirk or something like that, and we see him training and stuff. I don't know exactly what's going on besides what I see in the preview, but how he said inherit his quirk, I don't think he's just going to like die and then some magical orb is going to transfer over into Izuku and then he's going to become all buff. I think when he said inherit his quirk, I believe that that, like, he's trying to get him to do what he did. He's trying to make him have the willpower and go through the training to make his body be able to transform into this quirked hero, because I still don't believe All Might has a quirk. I think he developed it himself, because even his explanation is just kind of crazy. I don't know, man, but tell me what you guys think about that. I know that's not all that happened in this episode, but this really, really intrigues me. I love seeing heroes, main characters, come from nothing and gain everything through their own power. And that's where this anime is going, obviously. But I love how Kacchan, around the end, like, he was pissed off at Izuku for helping him, but you can tell that he really digs him. I think it's jealous of his admiration, of Izuku's admiration, his motivation, all of that, because that scene where Izuku was being scolded by the heroes for trying to help, and Kacchan was being praised by the heroes. It was like the opposite of what I expected, because Izuku was smiling when he was being scolded. I mean, he looked satisfied even after being scolded by Kacchan. But while Kacchan was being praised by these heroes, he was looking pissed off and upset and staring over at Izuku. So I don't know exactly where his mindset is, but I do think that even though, as of right now, Kacchan is more powerful and has a quirk and looks better off being a hero right now, I truly believe he is jealous of Izuku for some reason. And I really enjoyed that smile that Izuku gave. I was like, man, that shit gave me chills. And then seeing All Might buff up again, saying, I forgot what it means to be a true hero. And this quirkless child really reminded me, I'm about to risk my life like I said top heroes are supposed to do. He went in that Detroit Smash, I believe it was. This mofo created clouds and rain on a clear sunny day. That's some Saitama shit if I've ever seen it. But the only thing that Saitama has over him in terms of power, it doesn't seem like Saitama has a time limit. I mean, Saitama is just indestructible from what we've seen. I would really like to see a Saitama versus an unlimited time limit of All Might. I don't know how I forgot his name just then. But then again, All Might did say he got damaged from a villain, and Saitama never really got hurt for real in the show. So far, from what I've seen anyway, I still haven't read much of the manga, but I don't know. It just seems like an awesome matchup. But anyway, back to this anime. It was amazing. I love this episode. This is an awesome setup for Izuku to become the greatest hero. I love that ending, man. I love how he said, oh, by the way, sooner or later, I'm going to be the big dick around here. And just how he just so nonchalantly mentioned that at the end of the episode makes me more excited to see his journey up until that point. And with it just being 12 or 13 episodes, I don't know how they're going to do this. I think they're going to have to cut out a lot, from the manga, or it may be like, a seasonal thing. Like, it may come back with another 12 episodes later on this year or next year or something like that to pick up where we left off. But I don't think at the end of the 13 episodes he's going to be the greatest hero. I think that he may be on the way there. We may see some improvement, but I don't think he's going to be the big dick that we know he's going to be by the end, based off of what he said. But tell me what you guys thought about this episode down below. It was really inspirational. It gave me chills. I always love when characters say that they moved on their own. I remember Naruto did it, Sasuke did it, a few other characters that I can't think of right now. But for some reason, every anime that uses that line ends up being great. I don't know what it is about that line, what it is about those characters, but they always end up being awesome, legendary, unforgettable characters. So I cannot wait to see what happens with Izuku later on. Anyway, I hope I've been saying his name right. I think it is Izuku. I don't know. But anyway, this has been jbDAuchiha. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out.